Hello Aquarius, welcome to your reading with me, Cindy. So Aqua babies, it's the start of a new week and I felt really strongly compelled to start how I used to start. And I used to, if you've been on my channel for a little while, you'll probably remember that whenever I started a new week, I always started with Aquarius. That's where I started. And I really don't know why. I don't know if it's because we're moving into the dawn of Aquarius, into the new age of Aquarius, but it just always felt right. And then I kind of deviated from that, and I was just doing things as it just flowed into one thing into another. And I took a couple of days off, and I was like just really chilling. And I just kept thinking, I need to start with Aquarius again. I need to start from A to Z. Isn't that funny? That came up in our reading. Aquarius. I need to start with Aquarius. So, you know, there could be some people think, oh, you just finished with, I don't know who I finished with. Taurus? Gemini? I don't know. Thinking, shouldn't it be our turn? Your turn will come. I just got to do what feels right, man. Very kumbaya right now. So, you know, whatever. I'm starting with Aquarius. And I'm working from Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, that way into the zodiac. So I'm actually really excited about this reading that I kind of come up with. I guess me and spirit. So I have this idea about looking at how you've changed, giving you a perspective about, you know, things that you've been working through, who you kind of were then, whatever then is for you. You know, maybe it was a couple years ago. Maybe it was a couple months ago. I kind of feel like, though, with these readings that it feels like almost pre-pandemic, like then. I mean, you got to see where you fit, right? Like, don't just go by that. Just see where you fit. And then we're going to look at where you are now. And I'm going to do it in a really interesting way. I'm going to use my Archangel deck. I'm going to use my, I don't remember what it is, Fairy Guidance deck or something like that. I'm also going to use my El Key deck. And I'm going to use my Heaven and Earth Tarot. We have the Emperor at the bottom. Heaven and Earth Tarot. And so what we're going to do, we're going to look at then. So in the past, the angelic guidance that you had around you. And it'll also talk about like why. What was the topic of your life? And then the fairies are going to look at the challenge or challenges that you were facing in the past. And then the tarot is going to give me sort of a broad idea of you back then, your life back then. And then in the now, I'm going to do the same thing with the same cards, your angelic guidance that you have now, the challenge. The fairies are going to talk about the challenge that you're working through now. And the tarot, again, is going to give me a broad idea of you. And then down the middle, this is where we come in with the El Key deck, She Who. You know what I'm going to look at? So what I'm going to look at is, because it's in the middle, I'm placing that card. There's two cards that are going to come from that deck. Because it's in the middle, we're going to be like literally looking at what lesson you have not fully learned. So there's still a lesson that you're going to be working through as you move forward in the now and possibly a little bit into your future. But we're also going to look at the lesson that you have learned and that you will not have to surmount again. So what do you think of that? I like it. I think it's kind of cool. I like it anyway, so I'm going to do it. Yeah, so let's get started. And there is going to be an extended. In the extended, I'm going to focus on your transforming energies and the future you. But right now, we're going to get started with, and if you know me too, you know that I tend to pull out a couple of cards or a card and then start talking about it. This reading, I think, has really good value when everything is out on the table and then I start talking. But, you know, since I was a little kid, I was always getting in trouble talking out of the line. So, we'll see what happens. It's general. It may or may not resonate. If it does, like I said, there is an extended. The link to that is at the top of the description within this video. All right, Aquarius, Aqua babies. It feels good starting the week with Aquarius and working through. It's good. Okay. Oh. All right, another shuffle. All right, now we're good. Now the guardian angels are happy with that. I will tell you what each card represents as it comes out, so you can ponder it as I'm pulling out the deck here. Angel, okay, so in the past, then, the angel guide you had around you was Archangel Michael. Crystal clear intentions. Be clear about what you desire and focus upon it with unwavering faith. All right, so you had an angel around you helping you become clear about what your intentions were in the past. Now, the angel that you have around you, you got the same one. You still have Archangel Michael around you, but you are safe. I am protecting you against lower energies and guarding you, your loved ones, and your home. I'm feeling a kinship with you guys on that one, because before I do any new reading, I always do it on myself. And that's the card I pulled in that spot. So we're both being protected right now. Isn't that beautiful? So perhaps there are some lower energies around you at this time. You are being guarded. Probably feeling like maybe there's things you should do or shouldn't do, and there's probably a reason for that. All right, so that was that. Beloved one, Archangel Camuel, I am helping you with your spiritual soulmate relationship is at the bottom. Fairies, the fairies. We're going to look at the challenge that you were working through in the past, and the challenge that you're working through now. That's kind of neat that you have the same archangel around you. I want to say too, I know I said I was going to not talk. I want to say too that by having the same angel around you then in the past that you have now, and but he was working on you with crystal clear intentions. Be clear about what you desire and focus upon it with unwavering faith. Now, I feel like protecting you against lower energies and guarding you, your loved ones, and your home, it sort of feels like transforming the lesson. It feels like transforming the lesson. What is it that you really want? And now starting to recognize that on an energetic level as well. Tree wisdom. So what you were working through. The challenge in the past. Tree wisdom. This tree dryad will help you navigate through your current situation. Her flute can reveal insights and answers through the sounds it makes. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I feel like the challenge that you were working through in the past is that you were not getting clear. Let's say crystal clear intentions was yours, but you were not necessarily sure of your path. You were not necessarily sure of your path. And it does feel like, though, that a lot was hidden from you. But it's almost as if your angels, the universe, were trying to give you little tidbits of information, right? Like the flute. So synchronicities, ideas, things lining up, trying to guide you that way through a very mysterious period, perhaps. And maybe, again, you didn't know what your intentions were in the past. What are my intentions? What is it that I wish for myself? Where do I want to go? There does seem to be a lot in the past of fogginess, I would describe it. Challenge currently, now. Wish wisely. Oh, use your wishes wisely to manifest your heart's desire and take practical steps towards making your dreams come true. Oh, that's interesting. It kind of feels like what you're doing right now is you are, the lessons that you've been working on, the challenges, the guidance that you were working on in the past is applying it now. Taking into consideration what energies do or do not feel right for you. And also taking into consideration with yourself, being very clear about what your intention is. Understanding that when you are clear about your intention for yourself, you can make clear and precise wishes and desires and then manifest for yourself. Motivations at the bottom. When spring approaches, the flower fairies urge you to spring into action. If there's something you've been merely thinking about doing, they say get busy and do it. Well, there you go. Okay, before we go into the lesson not fully learned and the lesson learned, I just want to pull out tarot, and it's going to give me a broader idea here. inside. I always hang left. I don't know why. I always hang left. And I'm not left-handed. It's an odd thing. Maybe because my right hand is so dominant, it pushes everything that way. It is a little bossy, my right hand. Yeah. All right, who you were then. Ooh, 8 of Swords. If you don't have crystal clear intentions, how would you move forward? Makes a lot of sense. The Chariot, trying to get movement going forward. And the 8 of Pentacles. Oh, how to put the work in. Oh, wow. Okay, so who you were in the past. Definitely trying to understand what your intentions are. What are the reasons for my actions? What is it that I really truly want for myself? It really feels like you probably ended something. Something probably ended in your life. And maybe it had something to do with work, with the 8 of Pentacles, but maybe not. I feel like something prior to this energy kind of came to an end in your life. And it left you thinking, well, what is the path now? What is it that I want? If I thought I wanted those things from the past that have come to an end, do I still want those things? Seems like there was probably a lot of questions that you were asking yourself in the past. So I see you, like how you've changed. I'm not fully where you are now, but I am seeing that there is a switch going, it has been going on for you about what it is you really want. And basing some of that perhaps on things that haven't worked out. Trying to understand your challenge. I feel like the universe has been trying to guide you and you're just thinking, no, no, no. I think though part of the battle is wanting to be able to trust yourself. Because you're trying to find your crystal clear intentions. You're trying to really understand what it is that you want to move towards in the past. So it does feel like, to me, with this kind of like tidbits of information being thrown your way, that was the challenge. Because I think you were so dependent on yourself on some level. So yes, definitely. They call this 8 of Swords shortened force. So forcing yourself towards something to a point and then you find yourself blocked. I'm going to be honest, like I don't know a lot about the archangels in terms of history or what we classify them of, or I guess because I'm not big on labels. And I find I'm more open as a divinator by just receiving what comes in as opposed to trying to apply it to labels and things that have already been created by man. But looking at having Archangel Michael, I always feel like a lot of strength when I pull that card out. And I feel like you are a very strong person, a very strong, like even your soul has a very strong will. And perhaps even a desire to deviate beyond what you may have even agreed to prior to coming to Earth, like your soul contracts. I just feel like to have the same archangel then that you have now, it's like this is a big job for somebody. I feel like you're a big job for your angels, but you're probably also on some level fairly strong and powerful in your own way in the ethereal. And so you have to have a very strong and powerful angel around you. All right, now, oh, Queen of Cups, that's nice. The Wheel of Fortune. Wow, before I pull out the next card, immediately I'm getting the message here is true, because with the Wheel of Fortune, we have the symbol of all the fixed signs. So the signs that are stubborn. That's you. So the signs that are kind of stubborn or fixed, or I have a path and I'm sticking to it and nothing's going to change my mind kind of energy. But I just feel like with the Queen of Cups, it's soft. It's soft and it's warm and it's flowing and it's inviting, and trying to use that energy right now, excuse me, to transform this fixed. Okay, what's the next card? Wow, the Ten of Pentacles. Oh, geez, that's good. That seems pretty good. Because, okay, establishing that clear intention about what you want, and realizing that once you do that, you can make your wishes come true. But it's not necessarily about the intellect. It feels like perhaps with the Eight of Swords too, that you've had to work through some sort of intellectual blocks that may have been patterns that you're recognizing through your life. I really feel like there's something like that's happened here. It's kind of the energy of that sort of sitting on the shadows of this reading, where there's some sort of major change or ending in your life. And like, well, where do I go now? What do I do now? So who you are now, softer, at least trying to use a softer side of yourself, a more loving, compassionate, free-flowing aspect of you, to change your circumstances, to change the aspects of yourself that can be the opposite of this, like not free-flowing, stubborn, refusing to look at signs and signals that even your own angels, that even yourself, a deeper part of yourself maybe. I feel like there's almost like a duality to your soul here. It's really, that's interesting. And then finding wealth, actually finding a physical wealth for yourself, finding a place of harmony and abundance and comfort and joy. It's almost like something you knew from the past. I'm just picking that up because like it just looks very old and ancient, but he's kind of walking through what would have been a dark tunnel, through the archway into the light. And it just reminds me of old Roman times. So it has that feeling of walking into something that you knew once before, but making it successful. The Two of Swords and perfect work is at the bottom. Perfect work. It's the Four of Wands. I was trying to look for, oh, there's the Wands. It's the Four of Wands. So peace. Finding peace within your mind. Finding peace within your mind. If you don't have all the information that you feel you need to know what your intention is or where your direction is going to be, that is the perfection of inner work. And through that, this is almost like the doorway to over here. All right, now, these fine ladies, they're going to tell us the lesson that you haven't fully learned. Don't feel bad. None of us have learned all our lessons unless you're ready to die. I hope you're not. Honest to God, we're all learning things until the last breath is exhaled. So the lesson not fully learned is the first card coming out, because I want to end it with you feeling like, all right, I learned something here. So I'm going to end it with the lesson that you have fully learned. The lesson that you have not fully learned. She who regrets, battle, victory, and bitterness. Ooh. I want to see what you fully learned here, because this does feel like the lesson that you have not fully learned is regret. I feel like more like allowing regret, like taking on more regret than perhaps you need. I didn't have a teeny tiny tarot deck ready, but I'll shuffle one up. Perhaps there's a sense of bitterness based on things in the past that have not worked out. Because there's just such a pile of skulls around her feet. So yeah, she does stand. Oh, you know, okay, this one's a little bit spiritual in that a sense of regret that there are many, perhaps in this lifetime, that you've had to walk away from. There's a lot of relationships with all these skulls below her feet. So the lesson that you have not fully learned, I feel like, is the feeling of regret. I don't feel like you don't feel regret. I feel like perhaps maybe you feel too much regret. So the lesson that you have learned, she who doubts, fear, weariness, and trust. So I do feel like the lesson that you have accomplished between the then and the now that you're in right now is that the doubt that you have about your intentions, about where you're going, is based on your own fear, is based on your own inability to trust. Perhaps, well, it's always yourself. It's always yourself, because if we have ended up in situations where we had our sovereignty to start with, if you had your sovereignty on some level to start with, but yes, maybe you grew up in a certain way that kind of created a belief system or a perspective that took you down a road that wasn't healthy. It wasn't something that could really self-actualize you. That you still played a part in this. So you have to learn to trust yourself. But you can start to trust yourself once you start to really alchemize the lessons. So the doubt, you have won the lesson of doubt. Not doubting yourself, trusting in yourself, knowing that you have the control and the capacity to say yes or no, to move forward or not move forward. But regret, you still are working on regret. The bottom is she who hesitates, and then she who flies, and she who once loved. Ponder, delay, confidence. Dared you reach fragile secret love and rejection? So, there might be two. So the underline here is a sense of perhaps maybe hesitating and then moving forward with things and feeling rejected. So that too could definitely kind of kick your feet out from under you, an energy like that. Like doubting in the first place and then saying, okay, I'm going to be confident and I'm going to go forward. I'm going to dare and I'm going to try to reach for this. And perhaps it was something that your heart was guiding you to do, but then feeling rejected. Oh yeah, I could really see that. Actually makes a lot of sense. Everything here, like, well, what are my true intentions? And focus upon it with unwavering faith. Signs and synchronicities around you, feeling blocked, trying to get movement going on what you can really create. But the doubt, and there's how the doubt, but you've mastered it. I want to look at, real quick, the regret, the lesson that you're still learning here. Maybe you hang on to the feelings of regret, like maybe looking back and say, why did I make that decision? Or why did I make that choice? Or like all of those things are really regret. So the regret, how is this still? Wow, the Four of Wands and the Eight of Swords. Look at this. The Two of Swords was with this Four of Wands. And then you had the Eight of Swords down here as who you were then. Not moving. I don't know, maybe you missed an opportunity. Or maybe you feel like you missed some sort of opportunity in the past. And you sat in a lot of doubt. But I feel like you don't have doubt now because you've learned that lesson. So let's not... So you do have regret about something that you feel like you kept yourself from moving towards. But I want to say too, that doesn't mean that you don't have chances to reestablish these opportunities in your life, for these opportunities to come around for you again in different forms, because I think that will happen, particularly if you're still working on regret. So there will be, thinking about that moving forward, to probably move forward. And you'll know when it is right for you. And you'll also know that if it seems like a really good opportunity, but you're not ready for it, or something doesn't seem in alignment with you and it really, that's your guidance system talking to you. So there really is no need for regret. The Ace of Wands and the Two of Wands on the bottom. I feel like this has to do, like, wishing wisely. That's so perfect for the Two of Wands. Use your wishes wisely to manifest your heart's desire and take practical steps towards making your dreams come true. Inspiring, very inspiring. That's who you are now. That's who you're becoming. And that's what I have for you, Aquarius. So that's how you've changed. You've moved from being someone that was perhaps not clear, or knew how to be clear about what your desires and intentions were. Navigating through a period of time that felt like the trail had faded in the woods. There was just nowhere to go with this. Where do you go? And I'm feeling the loss. And even perhaps too, I want to say having, wow, that's really interesting. 8, 7, 8, 8, 7, 8, 8, 7, 8. Because I wanted to say too, I think in the past then, if you felt like you couldn't move towards something, or you didn't know how to make your intentions clear, you almost had that get up and go, but you probably focused it more towards your work as opposed to maybe what your heart's desire was. And now I see you trying to combine both these beautiful energies though. So that's who you're really becoming. You're really focusing on what your heart's desire is. And you're moving beyond your own stubbornness. And really about to create wealth and prosperity. And, oh, you know, I did say it's almost like going back to something that you knew before. So this whole regret with the Four of Wands and the Eight of Swords. Yeah, like I feel like if you regret that you didn't take advantage of an opportunity when it was available, you definitely have opportunity coming towards you in the, well, it kind of feels like now almost. So if you're not in it, it's very soon. And that's what I got for you, Aquarius. Thank you so much, my friends. I'm going to go do the extended. Until next time, do be gentle with yourselves. Bye.